Okay, so here I am back with some more Aeon of Horse, and today I have Can Dark Matter actually beat Accelerator? So yeah, we're just gonna be seeing this. Yeah, and let me know, like, yeah, let's see if there's actually some more to Dark Matter that I may not have known or like maybe overlooked or something. So yeah, let's actually see. Accelerator is something else though. I'll say that. He is definitely something else. So let's see. I guess not actually beat Accelerator, but you know, can he at least like make his way through somehow, right? And at least do something, and maybe even have Accelerator even think in a certain way to where it's like, okay, yeah, let him let him change some things up, right? His strategy and all that. If anything, if he even has a strategy, at most times. But other than that, I'm gonna just start this up here real quick and just see what he has for us. And yeah, let's see.
In Index 3, Accelerator fought Kakina in order to determine who would be the
Yeah.
number one Esper of Academy City. While gaining the upper hand at the start of the fight, Kakina's Dark Matter seemed like the perfect counter to Accelerator's Vector Control ability. However, things quickly changed as Accelerator adapted and defeated the number 2
Yeah,
level
it just
5,
adapted
while
that
going
quick.
slightly overkill towards the
Yeah.
end. But could Kakina have actually beaten Accelerator if he changed his strategy and approached the battle in a different way? First, let's imagine if Kakina fought the Sisters Arc version of Accelerator, wearing the black shirt. You know, the one who was massacring Misaka clones for the hell of it. Would Kakina have any chance at all? First, let's quickly cover both Accelerator and Kakina's powers if you're somehow unfamiliar, but I do have dedicated videos for both. Accelerator can influence vectors of physics,
Yeah, all
basically any
that.
quantity that has both direction and magnitude. The most common use of this power is his reflection, where he passively redirects anything harmful away from him which happen to have vectors, which includes most forms of attack towards him. And there's plenty more applications of his power by controlling the environment around him. Kakina, on the other hand, can create a strange substance known as dark matter, which can defy and alter the laws of physics. Kakina often uses this ability to create 6 wings, which he can use to fly or strike his enemy. Dark matter can also infuse itself with other matter to change its properties via transmutation, such as turning a human into sand. So how would their fight go down? Black Shirt Accelerator wasn't restricted by the electrode
Yeah,
he would have to
no
wear after he took a
restriction.
bullet to the head, and his calculation power was much higher prior to his nerf. And yet, I think post-nerf Accelerator might actually be better suited to fight Kakina. Before you go crazy in the comments calling me a fraud, allow me to explain. Black Shirt Accelerator has distinct notable weaknesses in my opinion, which are his lack of experience fighting opponents who could actually harm him and his
Yeah,
huge
Toma just.
superiority complex. Kakina also happens to share this complex, but arguably Black Shirt Accelerator's is even bigger. When Accelerator actually fought someone who could bypass his shield in the form of Terma's Imagine Breaker, he went crazy at the thoughts that he could be harmed, and losing to another Esper was deemed as impossible, as Terma's ability could directly negate Accelerator's reflection, allowing him to defy the odds against the strongest Esper in the city, despite Toma being a mere level 0. Kakina can also bypass Accelerator's reflection, as Dark Matter uses an unknown set of laws that Accelerator is unfamiliar with, which is what happened in their first fight. While this took Accelerator by surprise in the canon by the time of the Battle Royale arc, by that point, Accelerator had faced multiple opponents who could counter his reflection in some capacity, that being Toma, Kihara Amata, and Komaba Ritoku. He had more experience fighting these types of opponents, and was forced to adapt his fighting style for the very first time, as previously he was untouchable, but with these opponents, he had to think and try to avoid getting hit. I don't think Black Shirt Accelerator would respond well to getting hit by Kakina, considering how he boasts that he shouldn't even be lumped in the same category as the other level 5s. But of course, his freak out when fighting Toma will be far greater than if he fought Kakina in this hypothetical scenario, as it's completely different losing to the number 2 level 5 just below you, as opposed to losing to someone on the other end of the scale entirely with a level 0 Esper. Still, I think it would be enough to rattle Accelerator and maybe plant a seed of doubt over his ranking as the number 1 in that moment. On the flip side,
Okay,
there
so
could
yeah, he
potentially
definitely
be a bigger
explained it
problem for
all.
Kakina
Yeah.
when compared
It's
to
like
other
the more
fights in
experience,
Battle
right?
Royale. That being Accelerator's improved calculation abilities. It took a good amount of time before Accelerator had analysed the otherworldly vectors of Kakina's dark matter, so then he was able to redirect it from that point onwards, making it so that Kakina now had no chance as he was defeated. With the improved cognitive abilities of Accelerator in the Sisters arc, he would possibly be able to analyze these new vectors far quicker, perhaps even after seeing Kakina's dark matter once or twice. If true, then Kakina would have to end the fight as soon as possible before Accelerator could adapt and kill him. Kakina is capable of one-shotting his opponents by transmuting them, but when he fought Accelerator in the Battle Royale arc, he doesn't do this. Instead, he burns him slightly by influencing the sunlight and then proceeds to strike him, but it doesn't go through Accelerator's body or do any major damage. Maybe because Accelerator was able to push himself away a bit after receiving the full blow, but we don't know for sure. Nevertheless, Kakina had every right to one-shot Accelerator in this moment.
Okay,
But he didn't because he's one of the biggest jobbers in this series. Kakina didn't think Accelerator would be able to analyze his dark matter in their fight, but if he was aware of this, the fight would have gone very different. Black Shirt Accelerator has no reason to ever dodge attacks. He would be overconfident, thinking that dark matter would do nothing.
Yeah, and he would just take it, yeah. Okay, I see it, okay.
A clean enough hit will go straight through him. Not to mention, dark matter can also phase through objects to hit its intended target, so even if there were obstacles in the way, it wouldn't matter. Haha, matter? Get it? Because he's dark matter? Ha.
Yeah, okay. No, we got it, yeah.
Kakina could transmute
Keep it pushing, right?
So yes, Kakina could beat Black Shirt's Accelerator in my opinion, but would have to make his first attacks count or accelerate.
Yeah, he just gotta lock in like immediately.
Plasma to counter Kakina's ability to fly and would proceed to crush him. Now let's go to Battle Royale to see if Kakina could have still won against White Shirt's Accelerator. Accelerator was already partially nerfed in their first fight due to his electrode, which puts a time limit handicap on his power, with Accelerator only being able to use his ability for a max duration of 30 minutes. While my max duration is way longer than that, I can assure you. This is pretty important as Kakina has another win condition, that being to time Accelerator out. Although it should be noted that Accelerator can still use his black wings for a certain amount of time, even if his electrode battery has no juice left. Kakina also has multiple opportunities to use his dark matter to hit or kill Accelerator before Accelerator is able to adapt his vectors. So same thing applies from before, but even more so for Kakina. However, there is something new which I have to criticize Kakina for in this fight, and that's talking way too much. Unlike Kiharu Amata, who wasted no time, of Accelerator, Kakina decides to monologue during the fight, explaining what dark matter is and how it works to accelerate.
Yeah, you're giving him, yeah, just giving him your power. Like you figure out the weakness.
And have the upper hand. You just waffle on about how your power works so Accelerator can devise a way to counter it. To be honest, I think Accelerator would have adapted his vectors regardless of if he heard Kakina's long-ass info dump. Still, I don't think it did the number 2 any favors. And yes, this is similar to the writing trope where the bad guy decides to explain his evil plan in detail to the hero, even though he has no logical reason to do it. He might as well just be talking to the audience. We do get a brief explanation mid-fight of Kakina's ambitions and why he doesn't like Accelerator, but mostly he's waffling on about dark matter at the start of the fight when he really doesn't need to. I still love the fight between the number 1 and the number 2 regardless of this.
Yeah, still cool. Yeah.
Kakina was so full of himself that he just couldn't help it. Anyway, if we cut out this pointless talking, with Kakina going full throttle the entire time, I'd say that would definitely improve his chances for claiming the number 1 spot. Another huge problem for Kakina is the black wings. Let's face it, if Accelerator somehow whips these out early, like, imagine, instead of Kakina interrogating Ueharu at the start, he actually found Last Order instead. That would definitely set off Accelerator, especially if Kakina harmed her. Then it's pretty much GG's, since Accelerator can seemingly control vectors from afar with the wings. But if we go for both in base form, then Kakina has plenty of chances to win before Accelerator adapts. Although when compared to his previous self during the Sisters arc, Accelerator now is more mobile and actually counters Kakina's attacks with his own, instead of Black Shirt Accelerator, who will just stand there and smirk at anything coming his way. It will be harder for Kakina to hit Accelerator the more the fight drags on, as seen in their fight. But at the same time, we still have the factor of the time limit. I would suggest Kakina just run away when Accelerator successfully adapted his vectors, but then again, Accelerator could easily chase him down.
Yeah, just immediately go after him.
And this would happen before the time limit runs out, as seen in their fight. Kakina probably has more time to work with against this version of Accelerator, but at the same time, I think it will be harder to land a clean hit when compared to Blackshirt Accelerator. Now I know that light novel readers will want me to talk about something extra, so spoiler alert. Will Dark Matter revive Kakina be able to beat Accelerator, even if he was supported by Mugano? The answer, of course, is yes. Kakina was winning this fight, even if it was a stalemate, thanks to Revive Kakina's new application of Dark Matter, where he could create an endless amount of clones of himself, so long as a single atom of Dark Matter exists. Accelerator and Mugano were destroying the clones, but could not fight forever due to their own stamina, in addition to the Electrode time limit. Kakina had truly surpassed the concept of Esper levels, as he implied. Despite being put into a corner, for some reason, Accelerator didn't bring out his black or white wings, although I imagine he may have done so if he was nearing the end of his battery. Accelerator's wings have shown to have some degree of nullifying regeneration, and who knows how long Accelerator's wings would last, as it's not like he has them active 24/7. So yeah, safe to say Kakina wins this, as long as Beetle 05 and Takitsubo don't interfere. As yes, Kakina became so strong that his own power defeated him, with a stray clone taking over the Dark Matter network as the Prime Kakina. This was possibly due to Takitsubo interfering with her AIM Stalker power, where she has shown directly to interfere with the AIM fields of enemies and can disrupt their power, which she has done more than once in the Item spin-off novel. Kakina even theorized this himself, since I doubt he wanted to admit he defeated himself due to his
and just got beat by your own self.
He may have had a point, except it's unclear if Takitsubo managed to transfer ownership of the Dark Matter network to Beetle 05 on purpose or not. So Accelerator just needed to survive long enough alongside Mugano for external factors to give them the win. Although if Kakina was never overthrown by Beetle, he wins in the end. Now again for more spoilers from New Testament 22. Who would win? Dark Matter Kakina,
yeah, I was thinking about that. Platinum Wings.
Wins this easily.
Platinum Wings.
Spears straight up stop Nephthys from regenerating afterwards, and they can't even be seen or detected. Accelerator is going to tear through Kakina easily without even needing to shake the galaxy. But one thing to note is that Accelerator is supported by both Clipper Puzzle 545 and the entire Mystical network, while Kakina is fully independent with his own network.
Oh yeah, you got that too, yeah.
So who's really the true number one? Let me know down in the comments and check out my other Accelerator video.
Okay, and that is it for this one. That's interesting. That's real interesting, because I've seen Accelerator. He's definitely capable of a lot of things. And even seeing him, I forgot who it was. I think it was someone in ReZero and another character. It was like, yeah, it was like three people that was, yeah, he was like going up against, and essentially he, basically was, basically the victor, right? And I'd have to go back to that video, but it was someone from ReZero. I think it was Regulus. I just can't think of the third person, but it was those three trying to see like, okay, who could beat who. And then after that, Accelerator kind of came out on top. And then, I was getting even more from Aeon of Horus, learning about Accelerator there. So I'm like, yeah, he's something else. He is definitely something else. But no, this is actually interesting. Yeah. Being able to, because there's just some things I forget. But yeah, turn people in the sand and all that. And pretty much, that what he did was just the sun, right? Just trying to burn him, right? But he really could have done something completely different, because like realistically, since he can't really calculate, since Accelerator can't calculate anything, because he really doesn't know what, it's not even a part of, what is this? It's not even based on the world's laws or anything. Like, that's something Accelerator is going to have to get used to, recalculate, do all this and that, adapt to. Then he'll eventually get used to it. But like, if it's something that really isn't even like part of, that's not even really reality at that, right? Then he could really just tear through him. So what was going on through my mind here is like, basically just give him a death battle. they just going straight hands. They just doing whatever they need to do. No talking, no nothing. Yeah, just go straight into it, really. The only issue is like, what's gonna go in whose favor? So like, is it just gonna go in Kakane's favor, right? For him to just be like, okay, yeah, let him just lock in immediately, or will it be like, yeah, he'll just lock in like later on, right? So it's a lot that can actually go into that, really. When you think about it, like, yeah, how would the fight really go? Actually, will Accelerator be able to adapt, or will he get the time to adapt? Or is Kakane just gonna be like, nah, let's just go straight into it? So that's why I said death battle, because most likely that would happen. Everybody's just gonna lock in and just gonna be serious, do whatever they need to do, and move on. But now this is interesting. It's definitely interesting seeing all this. And yeah, I already knew what he was about to go on about with how the current version of Accelerator would be better than the older version, who literally had no restriction or anything. It's only because experience, right? And actually what I just said in the intro, like, yeah, can dark matter actually make someone like Accelerator think differently, have a different strategy? So that's just me thinking more with dark matter. But now it's like, no, there's actually other people. Yeah, branch out that idea and go into like, Toma and other people who did actually make him experience things and actually make him like think about things. So there you go. He has the experience, which is actually going to help him out compared to Kakane. Like, we definitely know his experience, but I guess there may be certain times in his life that we may not know. He may have, he may not have, or not may not, like times of his life that he may have to struggle and do this and that. So when he was like younger or something, it just depends. But Accelerator, we're getting a lot of him. So we're going to know, first here, Sisters, then going into season 2, season 3, seeing his strengths and weaknesses. But Kakane, yeah, you only see like whatever they give us and then maybe backstory or something. So basically, I just say all that because with this here, he's just basically letting the attacks hit him. So it's like someone like Kakane, what if he actually didn't talk as much, right? Beforehand, and now he's like, look at him now. He's just talking. He thinks he's cool with it. Like, yeah, he doesn't need to be serious. So, yeah. And in a way, yeah, you could say both of them are the same. Yeah, Accelerator, he wasn't as serious as first. And then, he got Kakane not as serious too. Just yapping, like, yeah, like let him just say what he needs to say with his powers, right? Yeah, just give me everything real quick. Yeah, just go ahead and tell me how long does it take you to activate it, and like what's the limits, right? There's no limits. Oh, okay, at least I know that. Like, come on. But no, this is interesting though. And plus, I mean, they are level 5, so it's not like, there isn't like a huge gap or anything. There is a huge gap, I guess you could say, with Accelerator and Misaka, right? And I have to, look back at some stuff. But I feel, well, at least from the fight that I've seen them have, there was definitely a huge gap. I think she would have been completely destroyed if Accelerator didn't redirect. I think, she did a railgun. If he didn't redirect the coin to go a different way, yeah, and yeah, I had to see certain things play out again and look back at some other stuff, but yeah. But other than that, yeah, they're level 5, so it's not like isn't a huge gap. And it's not like just because Accelerator can defeat other, characters from other series, or even pretty much be at the pinnacle of his own series, right? It doesn't mean that isn't others within, right? That can like, counter or like really go around his powers. And in general, yeah, the way how he acts and how he does things. So, yeah, there's a lot to go into that. That was a lot of talking too. I was interested. I'm into this, right? I was getting into this. But I guess, let's see, I want a good shot. I guess I'll get him, right here. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.